Alright guys, welcome to round 2, the National Drifting Championship D1NZ, brought to you by D1NZ. It's the first round of the Concrete Jungles. We're here live from Mount Smart Stadium. It's gonna be epic, but first, Kenny, round 1, the action went down. It was a round of borrowed cars.
Yeah, it was a round of borrowed cars, and the Rising Stars, of course, and Darren Kelly grabbing his first round win in the Pro Championship, and of course, he's just a phenomenal driver behind the wheel, and he's back in his own car this round, and he's looking pretty strong out there so far in practice.
People often ask us why we call these rounds the Concrete Jungles. This is why. 2-ton solid concrete blocks. If you hit one of these, it makes a real mess of your car.
Yes, it's the Concrete Tour back-to-back for rounds 2 and 3, and it all starts here at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland City for New Zealand's only night drifting event. Cheers for tuning in to Oversteer TV for all the highlights action, and it was of course Darren Kelly topping the opening round at Manfield Raceway. The turbocharged sixes drawing first blood, with Redwood taking second place ahead of Hedges and Templeman, and of course the debut pole position from Pro Class rookie Shane Giles, who came home in 5th place. Well, round 2 was hosted by the team at Club Auto Insurance, who signed on as the official cup sponsor for Mount Smart, and it was all about the new extended track layout, more turns, more switches, and a much more technical clipping point layout, which proved to be a tough track for the high horsepower Pro Championship machines. The new layout encompasses much of the character from previous years, but the judging team had set out a much more difficult clipping zone layout to test the drivers. Sector 1 still with a flat wall ride entry into another outside clipping zone. From here, drivers were asked for full throttle application, powering through to the first transition at the start of Sector 2. Sector 2 featured a late apex transition zone, where the outside clipping zone meant drivers needed to position the rear of the car as close as possible through the outside of the track. Now, finding the best line here, drivers needed to drive back around to the second late apex transition and inside clipping point before switching the car as smooth and quickly as possible through to a tight and technical concrete line chicane. Sector scoring was evenly weighted for round 2. Consistency throughout the whole section was rewarded, and judges were looking for big entries into Sector 1, followed by a full throttle concise navigation of the Sector 2 loop with a smooth transition through the chicane. Heading into practice and qualifying, it was all eyes on Darren Kelly, winning the opening round and scoring his first podium here last season. Kelly sits first in the championship standings and was looking for a strong performance to create an early points lead behind the wheel of the DKM R34. Fresh from competing in Formula Drift Asia, Gaz White's Tectaloy S14 made a strong return to D1NZ, the defending champion looking forward to competing on the new track layout.
Yeah, we had a good finish to the season here last year, taking out the title. So we've had some good runs here. We've won here before, we've come 30 before, and had some good qualifying results. So it's a good place for us. We've kept it off the walls today. Haven't been pushing so hard, getting the car into the walls, wiping the bumpers off. We've had a pretty breezy run yesterday in practice, and it's going pretty well today.
Another driver with success at Mount Smart is Kurt Whitaker in the Autosure R34 Skyline. The controversial switch to a 410 Ford V8 power plant puts Kurt at the forefront of this season's V8 invasion.
Yeah, last year with the old 2J, it was, it's good. You've really got to be on your game. You've got to really push hard. You got to know your car. You need to know your boundaries and how close you can push it to those walls. This year, a bit of a different package. This small block V8 is just intense to drive. It's absolutely a angry weapon, and like I said, I'm still trying to get the the handle of it, but it's awesome. It's so much fun, and my problem out there is I kept smoking myself out. When I come back around, I couldn't see where I was going when I was coming back. So, hey, that's the worst problem we have. That's all good.
Pro Class rookie Shane Giles made a big impact during the opening round of the series at Manfield. After taking his first debut pole position, Shane unveiled a new look A1 Homes S14 Sylvia, the RB26 powered S chassis becoming a favourite amongst the turbo fans. The talk of the rising stars doesn't stop here though. The two young guns from the far north, Tom and Joe Marshall, have been making their mark, stepping up from the Pro-Am Development Series. The RB-powered ATJ Nissans joining the fight against the V8 invasion.
Yeah, some of the top boys are a lot faster than us, but yeah, we're getting there. Our cars are a bit better this season. Just give it a go and see what happens.
Doesn't really look like either of you are particularly afraid when you're chasing. Though chasing is something you practice between the two of you.
Yeah, we've practiced a lot together, but not the most. We're between other drivers, but yeah, we'll soon see how it goes.
Nico Reid was a hot favourite heading into the tight technical concrete rounds. Engine dramas would put the RB25 powered TBR S15 out of action right before qualifying, however. Nico choosing to step into the Ben Wilkinson Pro-Am Pack and Save S13, managing to salvage 14th place on the grid.
The 25 is having a bit of hot problems this weekend, maybe head gasket gone. So thanks to Ben Wilkinson for letting us use the Pack and Save S13.
Lucky you're familiar with the S13 chassis, eh, boss? You didn't seem to find that too hard.
I learned in one of these, so feeling pretty comfortable. Bring on the battles.
Kyle Jackaways was another strong contender throughout practice, but things fell apart for the D1NZ veteran who made contact with the walls. The Colton Motors 180 SX out of action, and Kyle's having to step into the Bex Bennett Pro-Am R32 Skyline before disaster struck again on Sector 3.
It's a bad day at the office, eh, Kyle?
It's definitely not a good one. Sorry, Bex.
Yeah, we are now live for everyone here, so do you want to begin apologising now? Or?
Yeah, I've got a long list of apologising to do. The worst bit is we're both sponsored by the same panel beating company, so I get to drop off 2 cars to Daniel on Monday.
Another new look in the field was unveiled by Team D1NZ's Jody Verhulst. The Milwaukee V8 Supra now featuring a GT86 front-end conversion, the first of its kind in New Zealand. Partner and teammate Drew Donovan was one of the early front-runners in qualifying, slotting the Milwaukee LS-powered S15 into 10th place. Counting down the order, it was Joe Kukatai in the Rockstar R32 Skyline taking 9th place, Dave Steedman piloting the only rotary in the Pro class, sliding the Mimico 180 SX into 8th. Holding provisional pole early on was Phil Sutherland in the 2JZ powered A31 Safiro, until dropping back into 7th place. Andrew Redwood took up 6th place in the Club Auto Achilles Radial FC RX7. Danum Templeman, the best of the turbos, slotting the 2JZ powered NAC FD RX7 into 5th.
Yeah, no, pretty pleased. I made a bit of a balls up early in practice before heading into qualifying. So I just sort of give myself, I was a little bit tentative going into qualifying for tonight's show. We ended up 5th. We're happy with that. It's sort of, you know, at the end of the day, we're here to win the battles, not really the qualifying. But we're pleased. The car's back in one piece. I blew the centre out of a wheel and made a right meal of it and held up a bit of track. But hey, it is what it is, and game time now.
After the turbocharged domination at Manfield, it was the V8's turn to take the spotlight. Bangadan slotting into 4th in the Century Batteries VE Holden Commodore. Kurt Whittaker would top the sheets in the Ford V8 powered Autoshaw R34 Skyline before being pushed back to 3rd, with defending champ Gaz Whiter putting the Technoloy S14 into 2nd. The man of the hour though was Cole Armstrong in the V-Energy Skyline, the Dodge NASCAR powered 250 GT setting an 83.5 to top the scores. Cole Armstrong securing top qualifier for D1NZ round 2 at Mount Smart.
we're over the moon. We've had endless back-to-back troubles with this car. It's a new car. It's always got niggling little problems that we're finding as we go along. The alternator's not charging. It runs out of battery. On my first run, boys had to push me off the line. The car won't start. But over the moon to get a nice clean run on this thing. It's a wonderful package to drive. So different, so noisy, and we're stoked. The team is stoked after all the effort that we put into it.
So Cole Armstrong tops qualifying, taking pole position ahead of Gaz Whiter and Kurt Whitaker. Daniel Woolhouse slots into 4th from Templeman, Redwood, Sutherland, Steedman, Kukatai and Drew Donovan rounding out the top 10. Don't go away, it's battle highlights right after the break.
Most insurance companies wouldn't want to look at insuring modified vehicles, but at Club Auto Insurance, regardless of whether or not your car has been modified, we'll look at insuring you. For anything on wheels, call Club Auto Insurance first.
Welcome back to the D1NZ highlights action from round 2 at Mount Smart Stadium. The top 32 getting underway with Bruce Tannock fending off Adam Hedges in the Seas Garage S14. Achilles Radial S13 through with a win, with Hedges making a small mistake into the chicane. Sky Zhao took a dominating lead over Adam Davies in the 32. 2 Degrees 700Z powering away from the Mimico 180SX. Championship leader Darren Kelly gave chase to Joe Kukatai in the Rockstar R32 Skyline. Kukatai with a strong lead until blowing a drive shaft at the chicane. The DKM R34 grabbing the win. Pro-Am champion Vincent Langhorne was again piloting the Jordan Tweedy S14 at round 2. Despite a great qualifying effort, he couldn't quite stick a daring chase in the top 32. Tom Marshall in the ATJ S13 fending off with the win. Rattler Motorsports' Shane Allen took an easy win over Matt Lauder, who was suffering engine dramas in the Blink Company 180SX. The BOC SB Tools Falcon would go through to the top 16, while Gaz Grove took a dominating lead run over Aidan Omlin in the Aidan's Tyres Altezza. The CMP Construction S15 into the top 16. As everybody knows, the Concrete Mine custom courses can deal plenty of carnage in the battles. Drew Donovan pushing hard in the chase against Stephen Soul, only to hit the wall, causing huge damage to the Milwaukee S15.
Yeah, I'm okay. Got a little bit knocked around. So it was a decent hit, that's for real. But yeah, I'm okay.
Any thoughts as to what happened there?
Clipped the bottom wall, put me onto a bad line, get my foot up it to try and maintain it. But carried me on into the Demon Energy wall. And then that one was the big one. That's what flicked me around and into the stone wall there. And yeah, it was history from there. But anyhow.
Despite seeing her partner's concrete carnage, Jodie Verhulst didn't hold back in her 32 pairing with Nico Reed. Jodie keeping a clean chase to take the win into the 16. One of the entertaining reruns of the night went to Brad Smith and Andrew Redwood in their 32 matchup. Going OMT, the pair were inseparable until the final pass. Redwood held smoother consistency in the chase, and with the Burgerfield 350Z offline into Sector 3, it was a close win to the Achilles Radial FC RX-7. Young gun Joe Marshall took on Shane Giles in the final 32 battle, Marshall holding a strong lead to take the win into the top 16. Kicking off the top 16, it was another rerun duel between good mates Cole Armstrong and Bruce Tannock. Going OMT with both drivers struggling on entry, it came down to Cole's second chase. The V-Energy Skyline again struggling in Sector 1, handing the victory to Bruce in the Achilles S13. One of the most aggressive chases of the night went to Sky Zhao in the V8 2°700Z, trying to hunt down the RB-powered DKM Skyline, but with Sky sacrificing his line for proximity, it was Darren Kelly taking the win, progressing through to top 8. The V8 invasion began to take hold in the top 16, Fangadan taking an easy win from Tom Marshall in the ATJ S13, Danum Templeman bringing the fight back with a similar win over Shane Allen in the BOC SB Tools Falcon, the 2JZ powered RX-7 not holding back in the chase run. Seeing double would be the best description for this matchup between Gaz Whiter and Gaz Grove, both piloting V8 powered Nissan Silvias in their top 16 battle, Gaz keeping a strong lead to take victory into the top 8. The second big crash of the night went to Phil Sutherland in the Drains and Developments A31 Safiro. Pushing wide on entry into the wall, the South Island competitor was sent into a roll along the concrete barriers, the first rollover in more than 7 years. With Phil walking away unscathed, battles resumed after another lengthy delay. Jody Verholst giving chase to Kurt Whitaker, the Autosure R34 holding its ground, Whitaker taking the win while Verholst narrowly avoided a head-on impact with the chicane. Rounding off the 16, it was Andrew Redwood taking a dominating lead run over Joe Marshall in the ATJ 180SX. The Club Auto Achilles FC RX-7 continuing V8 domination into the top 8. Fangadan continued a superb drive to take a commanding win into the top 4. Danum Templeman continuing a list of drivers who struggled to chase into Sector 1. Darren Kelly was making a big comeback after a shocking qualifying effort. Fighting on through into the top 4, the DKM Fabrication R34 Skyline would take the win in the chase against Bruce Tannock, Kelly securing a championship lead. D1NZ veterans Stephen Soul and Gaz Whiter lined up like the days of old in their top 8 matchup. Soul would get his first clean battle of the night until spinning in the final sector, handing an easy win to Gaz Whiter in the Tectaloy S14. Andrew Redwood put on a committed chase into the entry at Sector 1 against Kurt Whitaker, but it was a move perhaps too bold for the battle that could have been, Kurt Whitaker keeping consistency flowing to secure a win into the top 4. Under a full moon, this stage was set for an epic showdown of D1NZ Drift Kings. Former Pro-Am champion Darren Kelly was looking to secure another podium in his series title fight, lining up against two-time Drift King Fangadan in the Century Batteries Commodore. Putting on the cleanest chase of the night, Fangadan would score the Laser Tools Best Chase Award as he hunted down Darren Kelly. Kelly unable to fend off the big Holden Commodore, Fangadan through to the final. Gaz Whiter would take an advantage lead from Kurt Whitaker in their semi-final. Whiter looking strong, but again it was Whitaker keeping another clean run in the Autosure R34, taking the win as Whiter attempted a huge chase, pushing too wide on Sector 1 and into the wall. For the first time in D1NZ history, round 2 would run overtime with scheduled delays, and with 3rd and 4th forced to be awarded to qualifying scores, it left one last battle for V8 domination. Whangadan taking on Kurt Whitaker in a battle of Ford versus Holden. With Whangadan putting on a strong chase in the first 2 sectors, it was up to Whitaker to stick the Ford V8 powered Skyline as close as he could in the second pass, but Whangadan would take a wild entry and spin out backwards, Whitaker taking evasive action and narrowly avoiding contact in front of a cheering crowd. Whitaker in the Autosure R34 taking the round victory at Mount Smart. So it was Whitaker back on the top step at round 2, Whangadan securing 2nd place and the first podium finish for the brand new VE Holden Commodore, Gaz Whiter taking 3rd in an FD style ruling, with Darren Kelly running up 4th from Danum Templeman.
Round 2 brought to you by Club Auto Insurance. Kurt Whitaker, you've done it again here at Mount Smart Stadium. Must be pretty good to stand on top of that podium again.
Oh mate, it is. It's been quite a long time since we've been on the top of the podium there, and you starting to doubt yourself. But no man, like, wicked car. We had a few little issues at the first round, and the boys got on top of them. It's a wicked package, man. Like, it's such an aggressive car to drive, and a little track like this, it just goes to show that bit more horsepower and that torque. You can't beat a V8 on a track like this. So I'm just ecstatic, man. The crew, all the boys have just done so well. And without all my sponsors, Autosure and all the rest of the guys that are just behind me, I just couldn't do it without them. So massive thanks to all of them, and I'm wrapped, man. It's just a little bit overwhelming. I'm just like, wow, I got this feeling.
It's just really rewarding. I'm super stoked, not just for myself, but more for the boys that have put in the hard yards.
It looked like you got faster and faster as well as the event went on.
Yeah, we got the new Trias Racing King tyres, and they're the best tyres I've ever driven on, and we got better support from our sponsors and stuff this season, and we can afford to put more time and effort, develop the car further, and yeah, I'm just super stoked how today's panned out.
First time ever in New Zealand we've seen the FD rule applied. 3rd and 4th place decided off qualifying results. Not quite the way you wanted it to end, but still a good result for you guys, back on track.
Yeah, no, good for us. Obviously not how we want to do it. I don't really like that rule. I think 3rd and 4th battle is one of the best ones to watch, and obviously we went over time here at the venue, so can't do anything about it. That's probably a new rule we should look at, but happy with how the car went. In the top 4 against Kurt, I had it set up perfect. That's one of the best entry chases I've done, and he was on the wall and I was of course back where I should be and couldn't see the wall coming, but I knew it was going to be close and just tapped it, and that was enough. So bit of a shame, but the car's semi one piece, so we'll go on to the next round.
And there we see the championship standings after 2 rounds of 6. Darren Kelly doing enough to secure a small lead ahead of Andrew Redwood. Whangadan moving up the ladder into 3rd with his 2nd place. Danum Templeman in 4th, with Kurt Whitaker moving up into 5th with his round 2 win at Mount Smart. While the next round of the series heads to Bay Park Speedway in Tauranga for the summer smokeout, it's going to be another action-packed weekend, January 17th and 18th, 2015. Stay tuned for all the action right here on Oversteer TV, or we'll see you trackside. Book your tickets now at iticket.co.nz.